absolutely all of us come into relationship with a past. We all carry a history. We're going to talk about how do we navigate within relationship the reality of our past. How do we create a safe space for ourselves and for the people that we're connected to, so that whatever is going on in our present lives and whatever did happen in our past life is actually able to be brought to the table. We're able to bring those things up and forward, especially if we have some sense that we don't want to. If we start to withhold things, if we start to hide small inconvenient truths from the conversation within the relationship, those little things start to add up. Those small pieces become large aspects of our own internal dialogue that we feel like we can't share with the other. As that dynamic takes place where the small things start to feel like bigger and bigger things, we actually have to start doing more and more work to keep those things from our partner. We have all sorts of reasons to not share everything, especially with the people closest to us. And one of the things that we need to face if we want deep, powerful, lasting relationships is that being honest, being open, sharing more of who and what we are is the doorway for that.
Some possible indicators that it's important for us to actually be upfront and honest rather than hiding and withholding is, does this particular piece of truth make me uncomfortable? Or do I feel scared to be upfront and honest about this piece?
For me, one of the most powerful things we can do is for us to let down our guard. It's sort of like both people are on guard, both people have their kind of dukes up, so to speak. And for that to shift, someone has to be the first to infuse that interaction with vulnerability. So for me, one of the things that is most powerful that I can do is for me to share something that's hard for me to share, something that lets the other in on my experience, that drops any need to use the circumstance, my thoughts or feelings about it, emotion as a kind of weapon or a tool to get the upper hand, to prove a point, to achieve some kind of agenda. If I can lay that piece down and I can show up with something that's just real, like, hey, over here, this human being, this is what I'm feeling, this is what I'm going through, and here's what I'd love to have happen here. Something that reaches for the other in the interest of togetherness, in the interest of connection, in the interest of cohesion, in reference to whatever might be the conflict. So that piece to me is by far the most accessible and the most powerful. It also tends to be the most challenging piece. And so we might be reluctant to reach for vulnerability in the middle of a conflict. But the more we do, the more we can, the more we're demonstrating to our partner, hey, I'm a safe place. This relationship is a safe place for us to feel touched, triggered, hurt, and that in the midst of that, we're both actually interested in the relationship. We're both interested in our connection with each other. And that's what that communicates. That vulnerability communicates that this connection is more important to me than proving a point or being right about something.
Now, if we're the partner that's receiving this vulnerability, something that's so key, it's paramount, is that we find a way to hold an atmosphere of grace for this vulnerability to come forward. Another piece that can support an atmosphere of truthfulness, an atmosphere of vulnerability in a relationship, is to celebrate our partner when they open up about these hard pieces. Acknowledge them with empathy that, wow, I'm imagining that must have been really hard for you to tell me. And I want you to know that I really deeply appreciate your honesty.